Coming up on Tech News today, it's Black Friday, which doesn't mean it's going to get really dark outside. It's not racist or anything. It just means that there's a lot of shopping going on in the United States right now because we have the day off. And we've got some great shopping advice for you no matter where in the world you are. So check it out next on Tech News Today.
Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT.
Bandwidth for Tech News Today is provided by Cachefly at CACHEFLY.com.
This is Tech News Today for Friday, November 25th, 2011. Tech News Today is brought to you by Ford, featuring available Sync with My Ford Touch. Sync with My Ford Touch gets you to your destination with integrated turn-by-turn directions and directional arrows displayed on screen. Check it out in the new 2012 Ford Focus and at Ford.com/technology. Welcome to Tech News Today. I'm Tom Merritt.
I'm Sarah Lane.
I'm Iyaz Akhtar.
I'm Jason Howell.
And this is the show where we give you some general tech buying advice to help you on your way out shopping. Whether it's today, Black Friday in the United States, where everybody goes at midnight and lines up to buy like 3 Care Bears or whatever the crazy, I don't know how that works.
Care Bears. When's the last time you went to one of these things?
I don't know. I never go shopping.
Best Buy finally broke down and said, okay, we're going to open at midnight too.
I know.
CEO didn't want to. He's like, this ruins a lot of people's vacation plans and Thanksgiving, but they had to go with the tide because all the other stores were doing it.
So the idea here is whether you're shopping online or shopping in the store, pop this episode in as you have and listen to it before you buy. And we're going to go through 6 different categories, starting off with tablets. Sarah Lane, you found some good tablet deals out there.
Yeah, I did. First, I was thinking, okay, well, let's start with some of the tablets that, I'd be really surprised to see them discounted at all, iPads specifically. And it turns out that what we really have to go on, because Apple hasn't specifically said anything one way or another, but last year they had iPads, which were the first-gen iPads, because iPad 2 didn't come out till March, for $41 off. So yes, discount, but not even as much of a discount as what you can get a refurbished iPad for, which is up to about $50 off. So let's just say that this year is like last year. Go ahead and look at those refurbished iPads, which is right in the Apple Store, and a lot of people don't know about this, because in some cases you get actually more of a discount with an iPad for all purposes will seem extremely new to you. It's not going to be banged up. They're in really good condition. It just means that for whatever reason they were returned or somehow replaced.
Refurbished items, this is a good thing to know, most refurbished items have never been used. Anytime somebody buys a product and returns it, it has to be sold as refurbished. It can no longer be sold as new. Mm-hmm. So many of them have never even been opened.
Yeah. I mean, that's why you see like restocking fees when you take stuff back, even if there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It's the way that the retail works. A couple other links that I found on bfads.net, which is one of the sites that gets a hold of all of the coupons that stores.
And don't spell it beef, B-E-F. It's B-F-A-D-S.
B-F-A-D-S.
BF is in Black Friday.
.net. There are a lot of these sites. This happens to be one of the more popular ones, and they list many stores and coupons, and it would take all day to go through all of them. But a couple from Best Buy that I thought were really interesting in the tablet category. One is the Asus Transformer 10.1. It's the Wi-Fi only tablet. Will be sold for $249 off of $399. So that's quite a savings. I mean, you're saving $150 there.
Tablet.
Yeah,
it's a really good tablet.
And the Toshiba Thrive, also at Best Buy, going for $279. That's off of $379, so that's a whole $100 savings. So when you think about something like the iPad, maybe get $50 off or refurbished. These are brand new tablets, and this is just Best Buy. I mean, again, there are so many retailers that participate in Black Friday, but those were a couple of the biggest savings that I saw. Also, the Leapfrog tablet will be offered at Best Buy, and let me make sure that I have, because this was actually something that was sold out online, so this is only something that you're going to be able to get in the Best Buy store. I have never played around with the Leapfrog tablet, but I know that parents love them because they come preloaded with all sorts of apps, and they also have...
it's an educational tablet for kids.
It's an educational tablet for kids, where you can have swap-out cartridges for games, and...
So retro.
Really good deal, $100 for a tablet that I think normally goes for $299.
I think roughly speaking, the tablets are going to break down between iPad, Kindle Fire, and Barnes & Noble Nook.
That's right.
Those are going to be the top 3. And if you can afford it, the iPad is the best. But it's not the best buy. It's just the best tablet. Kindle Fire is the best for your money. Because even though it has, touchscreen is not perfectly responsive and it's a little bit limited what it can do, it doesn't have any, external storage slots like the Nook does. It's the best for your money because it's only $199. The Barnes & Noble Nook, on the other hand, is the best hardware for your money. So it's $250, which is $50 more than the Fire, but it's a better piece of hardware. It has the ability to have an SD card slot. It's got more internal storage, better screen resolution, good responsive touchscreen. So kind of figure out where you fall on that spectrum, and I think that's...
And some of the other tablets that might not be the best bang for your buck are a better bang for your buck on something like Black Friday, where all of a sudden they're in your range, whereas they weren't before, and so you weren't buying them.
Like the Playbook, it should be $200 this
That's
Friday.
right. Yeah,
So,
exactly.
If you really wanted to help out,
You mean today?
Today, if you wanted 2 cameras on your little 7-inch tablet, $199 on the rim.
Good point. Yeah, absolutely.
Playbook.
I want to talk about cables and accessories because this is something you're going to get upsold. They make all their money off the accessories, so you need to prepare yourself against the onslaught of sales tactics. First, check what's in the box. If it's coming with the cable, you don't need to buy a cable. Next, check the price. The store is going to try to sell you some high-level home installation gold-plated whoosy-what's-it that you probably don't need. So check this out. Blue Jeans Cable at bluejeanscable.com and monoprice.com. You absolutely should check for cables and accessories. For instance, a 6-foot HDMI cable at Best Buy is going to cost you $25 for a Dynex in-house version and $40 for the Monster version. You can get a Monster one for $10, but compare that to Monoprice, which sells a 6-foot HDMI cable for $3.50, and Blue Jeans Cable, which sells one for $3.60. You don't need to be paying $40 for an HDMI cable in most cases. There's some reasons to pay for better bonding if you're doing like home installation of an entire network and you're running cables through walls and you've got long distances between. You don't want the signal to degrade. But gold plating is not going to make your digital HDMI signal purer somehow.
It's either a 1 or a 0, and they're getting through one way or another.
Also, replacement batteries, that's different. Replacement batteries can be of inferior build if you're buying an off-brand. So I recommend you buy the on-brand and probably buy them online because you'll get a cheaper price. But buy something that's factory-made, not something that's a knockoff, because batteries, they can be of an inferior build, and it's worth paying for something if you're doing a replacement battery to get a good battery. If you're buying, and I'm talking about the lithium-ion batteries that go into gadgets. If you're just buying batteries, like AA batteries to go in a toy or some kind of electronics, buy rechargeables and buy Eneloops from Sanyo. They are the best rechargeable battery. You will thank yourself for buying them. If you don't want to buy rechargeables for some reason, do not buy I can't remember what they're called now. I think they're usually called like high energy or something, but basically they're the crappy battery. Get the Duracell, get the Energizer. You don't necessarily have to get the lithium batteries, although they will last longer. But get the alkaline batteries. Don't get those crappy batteries that are the kind that actually come with stuff. Get yourself a decent battery.
I'm fixated on this. The little green and black ones. Those are the crappy batteries.
Anything that says heavy duty on it. I can't. That's what I'm trying to remember. Is what is what the technical name of it for. But if it says heavy duty, it's not. That's really the upshot there.
And for phones, I'm covering phones. I'm not Nicole Lee, but I'll try. Here's the deal. You're going to see a lot of phones really cheap. Amazon Wireless is doing a deal. All phones from Verizon, Sprint, and AT&T, with a new line of service, of course, are on sale for a penny. Okay, and you get free 2-day shipping. Of course, there's no iPhone 4S on this. That's not that big a deal. I mean, you have all your options, and this is always going to break down into something pretty simple. Which camp do you want to get into? Android, iOS, Windows Phone 7, or BlackBerry? Android's got, you know there's going to be support there. If you want to have the latest and greatest stuff, there's going to be, of course, the Galaxy Nexus. Is that the title, or is it the Nexus Galaxy? I was mixing
Galaxy Nexus.
Whatever that is. That's coming out after the Black Friday sales, but there's safe bets with HTC and Samsung's Galaxy S2 line of phones and Sony Ericsson phones, because they're promised to have ice cream sandwich in the future. So if you want a future-proof kind of thing, those are the companies to go with. If you don't want to go with that whole like, hey, am I going to get the update? Is this something I have to worry about? If you really don't like that kind of thing, Apple might be the way to go with iOS. When they go iOS 5, you get iOS 5. You don't worry about, did AT&T say okay? Did Verizon say okay? Did Sprint say okay? It doesn't matter. You get it there. And Windows Phone 7 is obviously gaining more and more every day. If you want to try that tiled experience, that's the way to go. And if you want to go to BlackBerry, they're going to be very cheap. I've seen a couple of good deals on those, but you are then using BlackBerry. So enjoy that.
Good.
I try to be nice.
Good advice. Absolutely. All right. Let's take a quick break and thank our sponsor for today's show, Ford, and the makers of Ford, featuring Sync with My Ford Touch. Sync is the in-car communications, entertainment, and connectivity system that's voice-activated, helps you keep your hands on the wheel, your eyes on the road, but still get everything you need, like navigation. They've done some great things in navigation. Instead of just punching in the direction when you pop into the car, how about punching in the direction before you get in the car? You're headed to that weird store that you haven't been to a lot for those deals. This is going to come in handy when you're out shopping. It gives you audible turn-by-turn directions to where you want to go, displays directional arrows on screen, so it's obvious which way you're supposed to go. You're not trying to guess, well, wait, what did it just say? All without having to purchase aftermarket or integrated navigation systems. Sync service also includes business search of 40 million businesses. So if you're like, well, wait a minute, I forgot we want to go to that other store that's having the sale, you just tell Sync, where is that business? Say the name. It takes you there. And here's the best part. Use Google Maps or MapQuest from home to plan a trip. Save it online to your Sync traffic directions and information systems account, and then use voice commands in your vehicle to get turn-by-turn directions. You can plan your route before you leave with the free Sync Destinations app available in the App Store. Ford Tech Nav Plus gets you traffic updates, too, so you can figure out the best route to get around all those problem traffic spots, all those traffic jams, all designed to help you keep your hands on the road and your eyes on the wheel. Ford Sync with My Ford Touch, available in the 2012 Ford Focus, or learn more about it and all the other technologies Ford is bringing to you at Ford.com/technology. We thank them for their support of Tech News Today.
Black Friday is always a great time to get a television. You always see great deals on these things, but you're going to see a ton of acronyms. You'll see 720p, 1080p, you're going to see 3D, you're going to see HDTV, you're going to see active 3D, passive TV, and then your head's going to hurt. Okay, so you should know a couple of things about these things. It's kind of hard to pick a brand to go with, because if you go in store, here's one of the things you're going to see right away. Everything's really super bright, so you're not going to have the real experience of what it's going to look like, which you can judge at a store, by the way. Check the viewing angles. Let's say you're talking about a television. Move to the left, move to the right, underneath, above, just how you're going to set it up in your house so you know if this TV is going to be any good. Because some of these off-brands could be okay. If you were wondering, oh, there's a great deal on a 720p TV, but should I get that now? Is that old and outdated? If a TV is like under 40 inches and you're not like literally sitting like 2 inches from it, you're probably not going to notice the difference between 720p and 1080p. So if you want to get, a 32-inch television, like a second television, 720p might be good enough, because I doubt you'll be watching 3D on it. 3D TV or not, it's pretty much built in to everything nowadays. So your choice is active or passive. Now,
here's another one where the accessories will bite you, by the way. I've seen several cables advertised as 3D TV capable. They're all 3D TV capable if they're passing the digital signal through. Don't be fooled.
Yeah, be careful with that. With 3D, it's about... If you have passive, these are the cheaper glasses because you get half the resolution. If you have active, you have double the resolution. So you start pay attention to how many sets of glasses you get and how you want to sit in this room. I mean, that's pretty much that's the way to go. I'd go with active if you want to be future-proof. Backlights, you're going to see TVs that are really thin and really, well, somewhat not so thin, right? Because they have the old technology. The LED stuff's really cool, and I mean that physically. It doesn't have a lot of heat. But some of these edge-lit ones, while they create a really thin television, might produce little spots and things. So if you want like a uniform thing, you could go with the older tech, but you're not going to have as thin. Plasmas are still around, still good deals on those. Great blacks, still, at least in my experience, I still have seen temporary image retention issues. You can still clear that out, but if you watch something like TWiT and you always have that bug up, you might see it later on. And this is something that has crept in. Classes. There's 55-inch class. There's 32-inch class. Not necessarily... You're not getting 55 or 32. You're getting like
54.6. Yeah.
It's just a way to get more yield out of the glass when they make it in the factories. So just pay attention to that. If you really wanted to, for some reason, you're like, I'm dead set on a 55-inch TV, pay attention to the word class at the end of that. Because a 55-inch TV, I think, technically fits in that class, but it doesn't have to be.
Good advice. Okay, well, I wanted to talk about cameras because I love a good deal on cameras. And that's where I think Amazon really shines, because Amazon actually technically doesn't have Black Friday, although they will participate in particular deals on Black Friday, but they have what's known as Black Friday week. So all week, because of course it's Amazon, they want to get into it early, has deals on a variety of, electronics for our purposes on this show, but pretty much everything on Amazon all week. And if you just go to Amazon.com, they have a nice big Black Friday week banner you can click into. But a couple of camera deals that stood out to me. One is the Fujifilm FinePix F505 model. That's a 16 megapixel, 15x optical zoom digital camera, which does come with a 4 gigabyte S3 memory card. This thing is going for $200 off of $400. You're getting the camera for half off, and that's a really nice camera. Also in the camera category, and this is actually Canon. For Canon folks who are stocking up on lenses, you know that sometimes getting lenses is even more expensive than getting the body itself. This particular lens is a Canon EF 70 to 300 millimeter zoom. Goes from f4 to 5.6. This is, it's a portrait lens basically, and it's selling for $478 off of $920. So again, you're saving almost half of your money on that lens. I could go on and on, but those were the two highest savings that I could see on Amazon, and Amazon's really good for that. What I also wanted to mention is apps. Apps are really great for comparison shopping. Two apps that I think you may have already heard about, but if you haven't, it's worth noting. They're both for iOS and Android, so it's going to cover a lot of you. Black Friday, that's the name of the app. It's as easy as pie. Black Friday app, which is made by dealnews.com, is available for iPhones and iPads and Android devices. And an app called TGI Black Friday. Ha ha ha. That's made by eCatcher, also iOS and Android friendly. Those are the two kind of major apps that I think everyone should have. They're both free, by the way, so you don't have to invest anything into some comparison shopping. But even more interesting, really, are some of the best ofs. Cult of Mac has a nice best of 5 free iPhone apps that'll help you get the most out of Black Friday.
Like stuff like Red Laser type stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. Decide.com, Google Shopper, which, by the way, everyone pretty much across the board agrees that Google Shopper is great for Black Friday, as it is for any day of the year, because you're using the search engine to find comparison sites that are showing up in Google search results. That's pretty much how Google Shopper works. It's just wrapped around in a nice app, an app called Savvy as well. On the Android side of things, and I know that there are other app stores, but as far as our audience goes, I think that the Android folks don't want to be left out. PC World and Fandroid both have their top apps, and many of these, there's an app for Android called the Coupons app. Shop Savvy is another one that PC World suggests. A Discount Calculator, but they also suggest Google Shopper as well. And again, Fandroid has their countdown, and these are sites where, again, we were almost talking in our show from yesterday about how we decide what are the stories that we want to give the most attention to. There are certain sites like PC World, for example. I'm going to pay attention to their top 5 best apps for Android because I trust them. I read a lot of their writers' recommendations regularly. So hopefully, all these links will be helpful to you as well.
All right, you think you're done, right? You've picked your stuff, you're ready to check out, but you are not done because you're at the electronics store, which means they're going to say, now, can I interest you in our extended warranty? You want to protect that new purchase, right? No. The short answer is just say no. I'm not going to say 100% of every time you should always say no to warranties, but if you want the simple answer, if you want to err on the side of caution, you don't need them. You have an implied warranty that what you're buying is going to do what it says it's going to do. And almost always you have an express warranty. Check out what it is. Often 90 days, but sometimes up to a year or 2 years, depending on the type of product. And what you'll find is a lot of times the extended warranties don't give you much more than the warranty you're already getting with the product you're buying. And you get that warranty for free. So if you're like, well, wait a minute, I might want it, examine what the warranty gives you. In fact, the Federal Trade Commission says these really shouldn't be called extended warranties. They're service contracts. And evaluate them that way. Maybe what you're buying is really prone to breaking, right? Or maybe you're prone to breaking stuff. In which case, if the extended warranty gives you free replacement for any reason, it might be worth buying depending on how much it is. If, however, as more often is the case, accidents aren't covered, then you're probably fine with the manufacturer's warranty. You probably don't need to go in for something like that. And if you're the kind of person who's easy on gadgets and things don't break a lot, you're probably fine there too. Remember, most of these extended warranties are built to not have to pay anything out. So they're going to go to third-party services. Those third-party services can go out of business. Some of them can be very difficult to deal with in getting your stuff fixed. If they have in the warranty some sort of on-site repair, that's good, and that might nudge it over the edge. But again, most of the time, you don't need to purchase an extended warranty. Anybody got any other warranty type information you want to add?
I mean, it's funny. It's like I always think of Patrick Norton, our former colleague.
It was totally in my head when I said, "Are you the kind of person who's hard on gadgets?"
Yeah. So he's always the person who comes across as like, that's the kind of person who might care about extended warranties, except that he's also the person who could fix it himself.
Exactly, and that's the other thing, right?
So that's something
it's going to make a difference. If, if all it says is, "Oh, if you get a bug in your computer, we'll give you a free Geek Squad type situation," and you're the kind of person who can fix your own stuff, you don't need that.
No.
Yeah.
I just want to re-emphasize the accidental part. Pay attention to that. If it doesn't cover accidental damage, that's something. I mean, like, oh, it was an accident. Either you're going to have to start lying to people and say, oh, well, it just kind of seemed to just explode. I don't know why the glass is all broken.
Most of the time I have not bought warranties, but a couple times I have. They were worth it. One was an old Circuit City VCR. This is how long ago. The extended warranty covered replacement for any reason. So my VCR bent because I had put my television on top of it, and it wouldn't take videotapes anymore. It was under warranty, the extended warranty still. I took it into Circuit City. They didn't even ask me why it was bent. They just replaced, they fixed it. Not a problem. Another time I bought an extended warranty from IBM, which was actually a service contract. I don't even think it was called a warranty. And it included on-site fixing. My monitor went out in the middle, and they sent a technician out who fixed the monitor at my office. So in those two cases, I went for it for specific reasons, and it did pay off. But most of the time, you probably don't need to worry about it. A lot of times, the cost of fixing it is so low, or the cost of replacement is so low, that it's not worth gambling a percentage of that something might go wrong. All right, I hope you've enjoyed our Black Friday shopping sentiments. We will be back with a normal episode on Monday. And the normal tech news resumes as we all go back to work in the United States. But thanks for putting up with us and letting us have a day off. We will have Nicole Lee, brand new TWiT employee, on the show on Monday.
Woo-woo.
Can't wait to have her on. TWiT.tv/TNT is the place to find us on the web. You can email us TNT@TWiT.tv or give us a call 260-TNT-SHOW. We'll see you then.